business and spirit together. In today's fast-paced and highly competitive world, success in business is often measured by profit margins, stock values, and market share. Leaders and entrepreneurs chase targets, develop strategies, and constantly adapt to changing markets. But amidst this rush, the deeper purpose behind success often gets lost. Gyanvatsal Swami, a respected spiritual leader from the BAPS Swaminarayan Sanstha, offers a unique and refreshing perspective. Combine business with spirituality. According to Swami, true and lasting success is not just about what you achieve, but how you achieve it. His talks, delivered across the globe to corporate leaders, students, and professionals, emphasize that ethics and values are not separate from success, they are the foundation of it. One of the first values Swami highlights is honesty. In a world where shortcuts and manipulations are often tempting, honesty builds trust. Whether it's dealing with clients, employees, or partners, transparency creates long-term relationships. One of the first values Swami highlights is honesty. In a world where shortcuts and manipulations are often tempting, honesty builds trust. Whether it's dealing with clients, employees, or partners, transparency creates long-term relationships. In fact, caring for your employees and customers leads to a stronger, more loyal community. Swami often shares the story of a CEO who began offering emotional and mental health support in the workplace. After listening to one of his speeches, the result: increased productivity and reduced turnover. Then comes discipline, the silent force behind all great achievements. Swami insists that success does not come overnight. It's the result of focused effort, regular routines, and the willingness to keep going, even when results are delayed. This is particularly important for young entrepreneurs who often seek quick wins. Fast success may be flashy, he says, but slow and steady success is sustainable. Gratitude is a value often overlooked in the business world. Yet Swami reminds us that being thankful for your team, your customers, your mentors makes a leader more grounded and respected. He often quotes, "Gratitude turns what we have into enough." Leaders who express gratitude foster a positive work culture. Finally, self-reflection is at the heart of Swami's message. No growth is possible without looking inward. He encourages leaders to take time daily to evaluate their thoughts, actions, and intentions. A few minutes of silence with yourself, he says, can bring more clarity than hours of external analysis. What makes Gyanvatsal Swami's teachings so effective is that they're not just theories, they are backed by ancient wisdom and applied to modern challenges. His message bridges the gap between professional ambition and personal integrity. In a world where the stress of competition can often lead to burnout, Swami offers a roadmap that leads to balance, fulfillment, and long-term success. His wisdom reminds us that combining spirituality with business is not only possible, it is powerful. By living with honesty, compassion, discipline, gratitude, and reflection, success becomes more than just a goal. It becomes a journey worth taking. Begin with a higher purpose. In the words of Gyanvatsal Swami, a business that exists only for profit is like a body without a soul. In his talks across the world, from corporate boardrooms to youth seminars, he often emphasizes that the foundation of a truly successful and sustainable business is purpose. In today's competitive world, it's easy to fall into the trap of chasing numbers, higher revenue, bigger market share, lower costs. But Swami warns that when profit becomes the only goal, ethical lines may blur. Shortcuts are taken. Employees are overworked or undervalued. Decisions are driven by fear or greed, leading to stress, burnout, and sometimes even collapse. Instead, Swami encourages business leaders to ask a deeper question. What is the higher purpose of this business? What value are you creating for society? How are you uplifting lives not just your own, but of those around you? He says that when you align your work with a higher aim, be it improving health, spreading education, protecting nature, or supporting spiritual growth, you are no longer just running a business. You are leading a mission. And that sense of mission gives meaning to every challenge, every task, and every achievement. For instance, consider the story of a small organic tea brand in India. At first, they focused on selling high-quality, chemical-free tea. But after hearing Gyanvatsal Swami speak about purpose-driven leadership, the founders shifted their mission. They decided that their goal wasn't just to sell tea but to empower local farmers. They began investing in fair wages, training in organic methods, and providing educational support to farmers' families. The result? The farmers became loyal and motivated partners. Customers appreciated the brand's values and authenticity. Employees felt they were part of something meaningful. Within a few years, the brand stood out in a crowded market not just because of the product, but because of the purpose behind it. Gyanvatsal Swami's message is clear. Purpose leads to passion. Passion leads to perseverance. And perseverance, when rooted in values, leads to lasting success. By starting with a higher purpose, business leaders not only grow profits, but also grow people, communities, and their own inner peace. Uphold integrity in everything. Swami stresses absolute honesty in all dealings. From product quality to financial reporting. From customer promises to staff. Behavior integrity builds trust. When a company is honest, people believe in it. Customers return, employees stay longer, and partnerships grow stronger. In contrast, hidden flaws or half-truths lead to reputational damage, difficult or impossible to rebuild. Example: a shop owner once found more change in the register than the sale warranted. Instead of keeping it, he returned it to a customer. That small act was shared widely and won him loyalty and trust that far outweighed the money. Work with compassion. Reaching success without caring for others creates stress, loneliness, and burnout. Gyanvatsal Swami says that real leaders serve their teams with empathy and kindness, share credit, listen to problems, and help staff grow. A caring environment increases motivation and loyalty, and that spirit often spreads outward to customers, suppliers, and partners. Example: a small restaurant owner helps struggling workers get free meals when business is slow. Word spreads and soon more customers support the place, knowing it is built on values. Practice self-discipline and simplicity. Discipline is the foundation of both spiritual and professional success. Gyanvatsal Swami often says that a spiritual life is not about rituals alone. It's about how we live each day. Waking up early, eating in moderation, staying focused on our duties. These are not just spiritual habits, but life skills that bring clarity and strength in every field, including business. In today's world filled with constant distractions, emails, meetings, notifications, and endless decisions, discipline helps a leader remain centered. Swami encourages individuals to create simple but consistent daily routines. These routines don't need to be rigid, but they must reflect intentional living, planning the day ahead, making time for learning, and ensuring there's space for rest and reflection. He emphasizes simplicity as a strength, not a weakness. A simple lifestyle reduces stress and increases focus. Leaders who avoid overcomplicating their schedules or running after every trend often find themselves making clearer decisions and leading with greater purpose. A powerful example of this comes from a young startup CEO who, after attending one of Swami's talks, made a small but significant change. He blocked out 2 hours every morning before checking emails or attending meetings for personal growth. This time was used for reading, meditating, or learning new skills. The result? His mind became sharper, his decision-making improved, and the company began to innovate more effectively. Swami reminds us that success doesn't always come from doing more, it often comes from doing less, but doing it with focus and discipline. In both spiritual practice and entrepreneurship, simplicity and structure go hand in hand. By embracing self-discipline and living simply, one not only becomes more productive but also more peaceful. And in that peace lies the strength to lead wisely and succeed meaningfully. Use time and money with wisdom. Gyanvatsal Swami teaches that time and money are not just resources. They are sacred trusts. They are gifts that must be used carefully and meaningfully, whether in personal life or business. Wasting them leads not only to failure, but also to inner dissatisfaction. In business, wise use of money begins with planning. Every expenditure should be purposeful, whether it's marketing, infrastructure, or daily operations. Swami advises leaders to save for uncertain times and to spend with long-term impact in mind, instead of chasing luxury or unnecessary upgrades. Successful organizations focus on what adds true value. Equally important is how we use our time. Every minute offers a chance to grow, create, or serve. Swami often says, see every rupee as energy and every minute as opportunity. Leaders who waste time in distractions, indecision, or meaningless meetings lose momentum, and sometimes the mission itself. A perfect example comes from an artisan cooperative. They were tempted to rent a large, modern office to create a good impression. But after reflecting on Swami's message, they made a different choice. They selected a simple, functional space and redirected the saved funds toward skill training and development. This decision improved not just the quality of their products, but also team morale and unity. Swami reminds us that real wealth is not in spending, but in investing in people, purpose, and long-term vision. When we treat time and money with wisdom and respect, they return to us multiplied in the form of success, peace, and progress. Build a culture of gratitude. In the hustle of business deadlines, meetings, and targets, it's easy to overlook one simple but powerful value: gratitude. Gyanvatsal Swami teaches that gratitude is more than good manners. It's a mindset that transforms how people think, feel, and work. When gratitude is present, it replaces negativity with appreciation, complaints with cooperation, and fear with trust. Swami often says that gratitude turns what we have into enough. It reminds leaders and employees alike that behind every achievement stands a team, a customer, a mentor, or even a small act of kindness. that deserves recognition. Whether it's an employee staying late to meet a deadline, a client giving helpful feedback, or a vendor being dependable, every contribution counts. And every contributor deserves thanks. He encourages leaders to express gratitude regularly. This doesn't require big budgets or elaborate gestures. Simple actions like handwritten thank you notes, verbal praise during meetings, or small appreciation gifts can create a culture of warmth and respect. When people feel appreciated, they become more engaged, loyal, and creative. One inspiring example is a small engineering firm that decided to bring gratitude into its routine. At the beginning of each team meeting, every member shared one thing they were thankful for, big or small. Over time, this simple practice led to improved communication, deeper trust among colleagues, and a noticeable rise in creativity and collaboration. Swami's wisdom reminds us that gratitude is not just for spiritual life, it's a vital leadership tool. It builds stronger teams, happier workplaces, and lasting relationships. In a world that often emphasizes what's missing, a culture of gratitude helps everyone focus on what's meaningful and already present. Face challenges with equanimity. Every business, no matter how well planned, encounters challenges. Whether it's a sudden market downturn, a dissatisfied customer, or a conflict within the team, setbacks are part of the journey. What sets great leaders apart is not the absence of problems, but how they respond to them. Gyanvatsal Swami teaches that the key to overcoming challenges lies in equanimity, a calm, balanced, and steady mind. When difficulties strike, many people react with panic, anger, or blame. But Swami reminds us that such reactions often make things worse. A peaceful mind sees solutions more clearly than a panicked one, he says. Keeping calm allows space for better thinking, smarter decisions, and more compassionate actions. Swami offers a simple, effective two-step approach. When facing problems, prevent repeat errors. Understand what went wrong and put systems in place so it doesn't happen again. Act quickly. Don't delay or overthink. Solve the problem with clarity and confidence. Prevent repeat errors. Understand what went wrong and put systems in place so it doesn't happen again. Act quickly. Don't delay or overthink. Solve the problem with clarity and confidence. Prevent repeat errors. Understand what went wrong and put systems in place so it doesn't happen again. Act quickly. Don't delay or overthink. Solve the problem with clarity and confidence. One excellent example comes from a young delivery startup that suffered major delays during a festival season. As a result, they lost a major client. Instead of blaming traffic, staff, or systems, the founders took full responsibility. One excellent example comes from a young delivery startup that suffered major delays during a festival season. As a result, they lost a major client. Instead of blaming traffic, staff, or systems, the founders took full responsibility. They personally visited the client to apologize, reworked delivery routes, and improved training for all staff. The client, impressed by their honesty and quick action, not only forgave them but gave them more business in the months that followed. Swami's message is simple but powerful. Stay calm. Take responsibility. Learn from every mistake. When challenges are handled with wisdom and composure, they transform into stepping stones for growth and maturity. In business as in life, true strength lies not in avoiding failure, but in facing it with courage and calm. Encourage learning and growth. In the fast-changing world of business, staying still is falling behind. Gyanvatsal Swami emphasizes that continuous learning is essential not just for individual growth, but for the overall health and innovation of an organization. He says, a growing mind is a glowing mind. Swami encourages leaders to make learning a daily habit. Whether it's reading a few pages of a book, attending a workshop, listening to a mentor, or having meaningful discussions, every effort to learn keeps the mind sharp and the spirit alive. He believes that learning isn't limited to formal education. Everyday experiences, mistakes, and even conversations can offer powerful lessons. A workplace where curiosity is nurtured becomes a space of energy, creativity, and progress. Simple practices can make a big impact, like setting up reading corners, organizing skill-sharing sessions, or encouraging employees to attend seminars and return with takeaways for others. One inspiring example comes from an IT firm that hosts monthly learning days. On these days, employees voluntarily present short sessions on skills they enjoy, ranging from coding, shortcuts to time management tips, or even wellness routines. This practice not only spreads knowledge, but also builds confidence, creates bonds among team members, and fosters a positive learning culture. Swami's insight is clear. When learning becomes a part of a company's DNA, growth becomes natural. A culture of learning ensures the team stays fresh, motivated, and ready to lead into the future. Nurture strong relationships. In the teachings of Gyanvatsal Swami, one truth stands clear. Relationships are the heart of business. Whether it's with customers, colleagues, partners, or vendors, meaningful human connections are more valuable than any marketing strategy or sales pitch. Swami often says that sincerity and respect build trust faster than clever words. When we meet people with genuine care, remember their preferences, and show gratitude for their support, we create bonds that last. These relationships often lead to loyalty, repeat business, and unexpected growth opportunities. Swami encourages businesses to treat every client with importance, big or small. A small client today could be the source of a major referral tomorrow. Similarly, vendors treated fairly and with respect often go the extra mile in times of need. A great example is that of a freelance designer who, inspired by this idea, started sending a small thank you gift to clients on the anniversary of their first project. This thoughtful and personal touch stood out. It led to repeat work, glowing reviews, and new client referrals, all because people felt valued and remembered. Swami's wisdom reminds us that strong relationships are not built with money, but with kindness, honesty, and attention to detail. Maintain humility. In a world that often celebrates titles, wealth, and fame, Gyanvatsal Swami offers a gentle reminder. True greatness lies in humility. No matter how successful we become, staying grounded keeps our hearts open, our minds clear, and our relationships strong. Swami often shares that arrogance may win temporary applause, but it pushes people away. On the other hand, humility expressed through small acts of kindness, listening, and respect draws people closer. It creates a culture where everyone feels valued, regardless of their role or status. Leadership, in Swami's view, is not about sitting at the top, it's about serving from the front. Simple actions like helping clean up after a team meal, personally listening to customer complaints, or asking for honest feedback all show that no one is above others. A powerful example of this comes from a CEO who dedicates one afternoon each month to personally answering customer service calls. This not only builds trust with customers but also helps The CEO stay connected to real issues on the ground. It fuels empathy-driven decisions and keeps leadership rooted in reality. Swami teaches that humility is not weakness. It's wisdom. It reminds us that everyone, from an intern to a chairman, has something to offer. When leaders remain humble, they lead by example and create environments where respect, trust, and excellence naturally grow. Balance ambition with contentment. In his powerful and practical teachings, Gyanvatsal Swami shares a vital message for those walking the path of success. Balance ambition with contentment. He explains that both are important, but without balance, either one can lead us astray. Ambition is the fire that pushes us forward. It inspires innovation, growth, and improvement. It motivates us to set goals and reach new heights. But ambition alone, without contentment, can become exhausting. It may lead to stress, comparison, and the feeling that nothing is ever enough. On the other hand, contentment helps us recognize and appreciate the present moment. It brings peace, satisfaction, and a sense of gratitude for what we already have: our team, our health, our progress, and our journey so far. Swami teaches that when these two forces work together, life becomes meaningful. We aim high, but we don't forget to smile at what we've already achieved. This prevents burnout, strengthens morale, and builds steady momentum. One practical example comes from a sales manager who made it a point to celebrate team wins every quarter, even if targets weren't fully met. Instead of focusing on what was missing, he expressed gratitude for the team's effort, dedication, and small victories. This practice not only lifted team spirit, but also led to improved performance in the following quarter. Swami's wisdom reminds us: chase excellence, but cherish the journey. When we balance ambition with contentment, we find not only success, but also inner joy. Trusted systems, free spirits. Spiritual teachings are often seen as abstract or emotional. But Gyanvatsal Swami reminds us that true wisdom balances values with structure. In business and leadership, it's not enough to simply promote ethics and kindness. We must also create systems that reflect and support those values. Swami encourages leaders to design clear roles, reliable processes, and measurable outcomes, like KPIs, not to control people but to ensure fairness, consistency, and accountability. These systems help avoid confusion, reduce errors, and support high performance. At the same time, Swami emphasizes that systems should not become cages. Within this structure, people must feel respected and empowered. Freedom to think, suggest, and improve is essential. When discipline and flexibility go hand in hand, people thrive. A wonderful example comes from a small community clinic. Inspired by Swami's talks, the clinic leaders implemented simple but effective systems like daily checklists, appointment logs, and greeting protocols to ensure every patient felt welcome. But they also gave doctors the freedom to recommend new tools and suggest better workflows. This blend of structured systems and empowered individuals led to remarkable results. Fewer mistakes, stronger teamwork, and high patient satisfaction. The clinic became a model for others in the region. Swami's message is clear. Trust is built when values are lived, and efficiency is built when systems are followed. The most successful organizations are those that anchor themselves in values and operate with clarity and compassion. Ready to begin the journey? Success in business is no longer just about profit margins and market share. It's about purpose, values, and people. Gyanvatsal Swami's teachings offer a spiritual compass for those who seek meaningful, sustainable success not just in their careers, but in life itself. So, where do you begin? Start today with small, intentional steps. Define your deeper purpose. Why do you do what you do? Let that purpose inspire your vision. Build honesty into every product, service, and process. Trust is your greatest asset. Care for your team and customers. Relationships matter more than transactions. Simplify routines and stay focused. Discipline brings clarity and calm. Give thanks, stay humble, serve daily. Gratitude and humility multiply success. Reflect regularly and learn always. A quiet mind and an open heart fuel growth. Celebrate progress and protect your values. Small wins deserve joy, values deserve protection. Leave a legacy of service. Let your success uplift others. These are not just spiritual ideals. They are practical principles for real-world success. Swami reminds us that leadership is not about power, but about responsibility. True success is not only about achieving goals, but about making a difference in the lives of others. Let Gyanvatsal Swami's wisdom guide your path. Lead with values. Serve with heart. When you do, success won't just be a destination. It will become your journey. If this touched your heart or inspired your mind, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Your support keeps the light spreading. Thank you.